I'm Jeff. Welcome to my garden in Millway, East Grinstead. On Sunday the 16th of August it should be open under the National Garden Scheme with 4 other gardens in East Grinstead. Unfortunately, due to COVID, I've decided it's not safe because I can't self-distance the visitors, my assistants or myself, and I think it would be unfair to put people to that risk. So I'm making a video diary to show how my garden has progressed during the year, and I hope you enjoy it.
What's your garden inspiration?
The pleasure of starting from nothing and finishing up with something like this.
And why did you start gardening?
Because I was led into it by my father.
And can you expand on that? Do you want to give us a bit of history?
Yes, I can trace horticulture in my family history back to the 1700s. My father was Deputy Director of Parks at Brighton. His father was a foreman gardener at Kew. His father was a gardener at a country house in Worcestershire, as was his father, at which time it was the first garden that Capability Brown did for Lord Coventry in Worcestershire, and he was actually working for Coventry.
Why dahlias and salvias? Why have you chosen those as your 2 sort of main plants in your garden?
I came across salvias about 3 or 4 years ago and found them a most interesting family, very varied, and started collecting them. Dahlias were my father's favourite, and I was brought up with dahlias, and I've used them on and off over the years, but I've only gone back to dahlias in the last couple of years.
And tell us a bit about salvias. What's the history of salvias? Why? Because they're a herb, aren't they?
Yes, they are part of the sage. All salvias are part of the sage family, but a vast number of the ones that I grow have aromatic leaves as well.
Do you have a favourite plant or
No.
a favourite dahlia?
Not really. I mean, there's so much variation in the family group of dahlias. Each, has a special reason for growing,
And is there a reason why you choose certain ones? Do you look at catalogues, or do you go
yeah.
on colour or form?
Not really. When I'm planting, I just forget colour. I let that take care of itself. All I might try to do is get the height balance right, so the tall ones are at the back and the short ones are at the front.
Do you have a favourite form?
I suppose the cactus is one of my favourite, but I was brought up with a dahlia which is no longer available, one of my father's favourites, Ambassador von Cleffens, and that was a golden decorative.
When's your favourite time in the garden?
When everything's in bloom. Depends whatever season it is, but when the garden's in bloom, now's the best time for dahlias. If only it would rain and keep them growing.
And what's your biggest challenge? Is it weather?
Well, yeah, definitely the weather, particularly with the salvias, because a lot of the salvias are in the ground, but they aren't totally frost hardy, so you're trusting to luck whether they're over winter.
What's your favourite job in the garden? Out of all the different jobs you do, what's your favourite job that you enjoy doing?
I think, like any good gardener, can't throw any material away, and I will take cutting after cutting if necessary, yes.
And the worst job in your garden?
as I get to my age, digging.
Digging. And how often? And are you a double digger or are you a single digger?
I'm getting to be a no digger. I'm looking at just leaving it fallow and just digging the area where I put the tubers in, and putting in fertiliser in the hole as I plant.
And then weed round it.
And then just keep the hoe moving.
And it's obviously working from what's happening.
I hope so. Yes.
And you have some famous sayings. Tell me about your 2 chances. What does that mean?
2 chances. Well, if you take a cutting, it's got 2 chances. It'll either live or die. Hopefully, it's the live bit that wins.
And talk us through your watering routine. How long do you spend watering at this sort of time of year?
There's certain plants in the garden that are in either baskets, tubs or pots, and I water those more or less every day depending on the weather conditions, and the way it's been recently, it's been twice a day. I will water the dahlias in the ground as I plant them and let them get established, but after that it's really every man for himself. Let them continue, grow. But I've got to say, in the last week I've had to put water on to just keep them upright.
And how long is that job every day for you?
Just to water the pots and tubs, about 40 minutes a day.
And that's not the garden, that's just tubs?
That's not the garden. If I'm going to water the whole garden, it's an hour and a half.
But it's obviously worth it.
Well, the results show, yeah.
Could you tell us about the NGS and what it's about?
Yes, the National Garden Scheme was set up in about 1925 to raise money to support nursing charities. We currently support about 12 different nursing-based charities and donate over £3 million a year to support them.
So it's a lot of money that's raised in all the different gardens, and it's a nationwide.
Yes. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed my garden.